Russia's destiny is to repeat what occurred once before in history. The Quran has a chapter or a surah entitled the Surah of the Cave, and it is the eschatological surah par excellence of the Quran, Surah al-Kahf, the Surah of the Cave. And in that surah or chapter, we are introduced to Gog and Magog, who are a people who are bestowed by the Lord God with power which is indestructible. Only the Lord God himself can destroy them. But they are a wicked people. They are a people who use power to oppress. And the Lord God blessed someone known as Zulkarnain to block these wicked, powerful people who are oppressors, committing oppression on earth, injustice and oppression. And he did so in a region in the Caucasus Mountains, between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. A pass in the Caucasus Mountains, and he built a barrier using blocks of iron, and he was able to block them, and mankind was saved from the ravages of Gog and Magog. But then the Lord God himself brought down that barrier, and it happened in the lifetime of Prophet Muhammad, Allah's blessing be upon him. And when Gog and Magog were released from the world, they spread out all over the world. And with their indestructible power, we had a unique experience in human history. It happened only once that Europe descended all over the world, and Europe conquered and colonized the whole world. And when Europe had done that, the area of colonization, then they brought the Jews back to Jerusalem to reclaim it as their own. That was the first period, the first time of Gog and Magog. But the Quran speaks of a second occasion when Gog and Magog are going to be contained, or what in the language of chess we say checkmated. And my book, for the first time in the history of the Quran, my book, this book, the Quran and Russia's Destiny, I argue in this book that when Russia recovered or reclaimed Crimea in 2014, then power returned to the region of the Black Sea for the first time since that last one, in which power rested on foundations of faith rather than godlessness. So 2014 is the beginning of the second period, which will culminate with Gog and Magog being checkmated or contained. That is precisely what is happening now in Ukraine. I am going to suggest to you, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going to suggest
Of course.
as we are moving to the countdown, when Ukraine will eventually be defeated and have to accept defeat, that instead of the war concluding with a victory for Russia, listen carefully, instead of the war concluding with a victory for Russia and a defeat for Gog and Magog, who are supporting Ukraine, that they will then trigger the Great War in order to avoid the embarrassment of defeat in Ukraine. And when they trigger
Mm-hmm.
that great war, then the second of the two occurrences mentioned in the Quran will take place. That in the same way that Gog and Magog were contained the first time, they will again be contained the second time. So after the Great War takes place, the modern West will no longer be a significant actor on the stage of the world and can no longer intervene to protect Israel.